Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Tsung Kung. Homage to the 16th Dharma King Karmapa. And homage to Master Thubten Tarche. Homage to the main deity of group practice, the greatly compassionate Kuan Yin Lokeswara Bodhisattva. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Simu, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, temple directors, all disciples present here and over the webcast, and our guests of honors today, the wife of the Secretary General Liao of the Coordination Council of North America of Republic of China, Dharma Sister Judy. Accountant to True Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa. Producers for the Illuminating Your Heart of CTI TV Taiwan, Dharma Sister Rebecca. And Dr. Lin. Dharma Brother Gao Minglu. And Dr. Zhuang. And the attorney to the True Buddha Foundation, Zhou Huifang, Dharma Sister. Good evening, how do you do? How are you? How do you do? Cantonese. We have many guests from out of town today. And we also have guests of honors who are frequent participants here, and every one of you is our guest of honor. Om Mani Padme Hum. So this evening we practice Kuan Yin Lokeswara Bodhisattva practice, Dharma practice, and Kuan Yin has many emanation bodies, and the stories or the legends of how Kuan Yin Bodhisattvas is delivering or salvaging sentient beings are numerous stories. So other than incanting Amitabha Buddha, there are also many people who recite the epithet of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. That we recite Kuan Yin Pusa in Chinese and not Kuan Si Yin Pusa. The reason is because in Tang Dynasty there was an emperor by the name of Li Siming, the same Si in Kuan Si Yin Bodhisattva. So now her name became Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, because Emperor Li Siming, and there's a Si in the emperor's name, and Kuan Si Yin Bodhisattva, there's also another Si in the Bodhisattva's name. That's why the Bodhisattva name was changed into Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. That was from the ancient time. Actually, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva is tremendously compassionate. When we were very young in Taiwan, in each household there would be a Kuan Yin being worshipped. If you believe in Buddhism, there would be a picture of Kuan Yin, and then underneath Kuan Yin there would be Ma Zu and Guan Gong. One is the Ma Zu or celestial mother, and Di Sang Kun is the Jade Emperor. So we call it like an altar, like a shrine, where everyone would worship and lit incense. So Kuan Yin is worshipped in almost every household. So in each family, people worship Amitabha, and in each household, they worship Kuan Yin. So Kuan Yin Bodhisattva is the most compassionate Bodhisattva, extremely compassionate. And she has many, many emanation bodies. And Kuan Yin Bodhisattva was a Buddha already, Zeng Fa Ming Tathagata, the authentic Dharma radiance Buddha. So Kuan Yin was a Buddha many long ago, and in order to salvage sentient beings, he emanated many bodhisattvas. There is one appearance where she's wearing a white celestial garment, standing on top of a dragon appearing in the sky. And someone took a picture because they found the cloud to be very interesting. And then in the picture, they show that a dragon and Kuan Yin Bodhisattva standing on top of the dragon. When I just entered into the Buddhist path, I also recited the Kuan Yin white robe divine mantra. So anyone can recite it? Please stand up and recite it. But there's a mantra in the middle that wasn't recited. Anyone can recite it? Anyone can correct that? Could you please stand up and recite? That's the divine mantra of the Kuan Yin in white robe. So when I started my Buddhist studies, I recited this mantra. And Kuan Yin Bodhisattva was very responsive. The first Bodhisattvas that I worshipped was Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. The first. I've talked about it before. I went to Taichung called Zhonghe building, Zhonghe Dalo. So I went to that building. There is a bookstore there. There are many bookstores. And there's one Zhonghe bookshop. that published my first book, and next to that it's called the Yi Bookshop. So the bookshop sells books, and there is a Kuan Yin Bodhisattva placed there, and I really liked it. She looked very beautiful, dignified, so I asked them, is this for sale? And the boss said, the statue had the nectar vase. He was holding a nectar vase, but the vase had broken off. So instead, he placed a chanting bead on her hand. So the manager told me that if you want it, I can sell it for a very cheap price. It's only 15 NT dollars. 15 NT dollars. So I got it, and because I was in the military then, and at that time I was a lieutenant major, a lieutenant, and at that time I didn't understand about the feng shui, geomancy, or how to worship or enshrine a bodhisattva. And I had the window, and there's the railing, and then I place the Kuan Yin right on the railings, and behind is the screen, the window screen, and then I close the window to hold the statue right there, and then I take a little incense burner and lit an incense, and as I laid down, I saw an ocean, and on the surface of the ocean there is a Kuan Yin Bodhisattva on a lotus throne, and it's the one that I enshrine. That was the first time I saw Kuan Yin Bodhisattva appearing. I didn't understand about feng shui, I didn't understand about anything. I just placed it on the window, placed the statue on the window, and hold it using the window so that it doesn't fall. And then later on, I enshrine many other Kuan Yin Bodhisattvas. I also enshrined the white robe Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. At that time, I lived in Taiju, in the Taichung City, Lising Road, number 39. So, living there, I didn't have an altar yet, but I felt the spiritual response. And then when I joined my palms and praying, the Bodhisattva that came is the Kuan Yin Bodhisattva in white robe, very beautiful. And her hair was also very beautiful, wearing all ornaments. And I asked her, where did you come from? And she said, across the street. What? Across the street? And later on, I visited my neighbor across the street. And you know whose house that is? By someone called Huang Wanji, Mr. Huang. So I visited his house, and his wife is called Wan Ji Sao. So this wife opened the door, and I asked her, did you worship a white robe Kuan Yin Bodhisattva? And she said, how did you know? I said, because just now at home, when I joined my palms and invoked Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, your Kuan Yin came to my house. So she invited me in to take a look at her Kuan Yin, and when I saw it, it really is that beautiful Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, exactly the same. So that auntie, the wife, the auntie, enshrined a very beautiful white robe Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Okay. So I said to her, since you worship Kuan Yin, so would you allow me to recite the Kuan Yin Sutra? And I did recite the sutra in front of the altar, and then I walked back home. And Kuan Yin Bodhisattva liked me, and so she followed me home, and she's often at our home. So one day I told this auntie, you know, your Kuan Yin Bodhisattva came to visit my house often. But she's just a very mundane person, although she's a Buddhist. So she told me, the Kuan Yin at my home is mine. How could she visit your house all the time? She belongs to me, not to you. So I felt a little bit troubled. So I thought maybe I should find a statue that looks exactly the same as hers, but I couldn't find any. So I asked her, where did you get her? This Kuan Yin statue, where did you get it from? And then she said, it's the manufacturer, the place that made this statue had stopped making this same statue. This is the last one. So I couldn't find any anywhere. So I told her, because your Kuan Yin Bodhisattva likes to be at my home, so why don't you let me enshrine her for a few days? Can I borrow? And she said, no. So when she said no, you know what happened? You know how Kuan Yin Bodhisattva was so responsive. So her own hand slapped her own face. So the Kuan Yin Bodhisattva said, how could you say no? So after that she agreed, okay, you can borrow her for a few days. It really happened like that. That's why I want to share it with you. You know, that Kuan Yin Bodhisattva is very responsive. That she slapped on her face. That was just very extraordinary. Because this auntie didn't go to school, and she's told us about Buddhism that the Western paradise is America. That America is the Western paradise. And when we heard that, with the younger generation, we thought, oh really? America is the Western paradise? Western paradise is America? And I said, really? And then she said, didn't you think so? See, look at the Americans. They are very kind to the dogs. Even the dogs enjoy their lives there, especially the people. So that's the Western paradise. she was so adamant that the Western paradise is America, and I told her, no, because at that time in America there's still race discrimination, and because it's still the human world, not the divine or celestial world. So it doesn't matter how I explain it to her, she didn't want to accept it. She believed that America is the Western paradise. But really, there are miraculous things that every time I invoke that Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, she would descend, although from across the street. So that's how responsive Kuan Yin Bodhisattva is. I've seen many appearances of Kuan Yin Bodhisattvas. One time, she's very, very beautiful. And when Kuan Yin Bodhisattva appeared, she didn't look straight into me. She just turned her head a little bit with a slight smile. It really struck me. She was so beautiful. Oh, so beautiful, even more beautiful than a goddess or celestial maiden. Never seen anyone that beautiful. When she appeared, one of my calamities was resolved. So I'm very grateful to Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. So today we all practice Kuan Yin Bodhisattva Dharma practice, and you would experience the greatness of Kuan Yin. And she has not only 32 emanations, but many, many myriads emanations in all forms, all different forms. And Kuan Yin Bodhisattvas always stay in the human world, always in the Saha world, delivering sentient beings. So Mahastama Prapta is rarely known, but everyone can recite Om Mani Padme Hum. That's the mantra of the Chenrezig, the four-armed Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. So in the whole Tibet, it's like the spiritual center for Kuan Yin or Chenrezig, Lokeswara Bodhisattva. And she emanates numerous emanations, bodies, to deliver sentient beings. And among us here, there is also an emanation of the white robe Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. This evening, right here, there is an emanation of the Kuan Yin in white robe. And just now, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva also descended here, and we prayed sincerely to her that today's group practice, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva can bestow good fortunes and blessings to us, and to help us eradicate all calamities, to let us live in harmony, to let all the bad lucks be dispersed, that all would be well. We pray to Kuan Yin Bodhisattva that those who suffer from ignorances can be completely cured. The other day, I helped someone from Toronto give him blessing, and that was also the Kuan Yin in white robe that gave the blessing, and he also had the miracle or the spiritual response. Is he here? From Toronto? Please give him a microphone so that he can share his spiritual response or miraculous experience. So that day, that was the Kuan Yin in white robe that came to give blessing. So please share your experience after the blessing.
When we came here from Toronto yesterday, Grandmaster came and touched my head. I felt this warm, tingling feeling all over my head to my back, and all night I was seeing like I'm going to see light. And I saw Grandmaster came out of thousands of people in the room, and he called me to come, and he blessed on my head, and I was able to see. And today I'm able to see light. Yesterday I was in complete darkness.
Wow. Can anyone translate?
刚才这个孙师姐就是说了，她从多都来到之后呢，就非常就是把它加持实际上摸的时候呢，然后有一股约的力量从顶的一层从上去，然后他觉得他现在以前的双眼看就是暗暗的，还是现在的可以看到光。
So when Kuan Yin Bodhisattva bless her, that she is now able to see light. That's very good, excellent. It wasn't me who gave the blessings, that was Kuan Yin or Lokeswara that gave the blessing. So now she's able to see light. So she's truly responsive. So in the past, when we recite Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, we would say, Namo, the greatly compassionate Kuan Yin Bodhisattva with great spiritual responses, which means he's very responsive and give lots of miraculous experiences. Now we will continue to expound on the great perfection Dharma practice. If you have attainment in this great perfection Dharma practice, there would be 4 signs. Of course, the adept of great perfection Dharma, at the time of death, there would be 4 kinds of ways of death. So after practicing great perfection Dharma and you have attainment, then there would be 4 signs. 1, the first, his or her heart or mind is stable. And our mind, everyone's mind is unstable or not in meditative stability, which means it can be distracted. For example, when we recite the sutra, like Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra, it is a very short sutra. But when you are reciting, all of a sudden there would be a thought coming in. You cannot be completely, totally focused on the sutra from beginning to end. It is possible to do that, but it is also possible that you would have another or different thought coming in, so that when you're aware of it, oh, I was just reciting the sutra, and there was another thought showing up. So that's a distraction. So for most of us, or all of us, it's very easy to be distracted. It's if you can totally focus, then as the Buddha said, you can do anything. If you cannot concentrate, then you cannot achieve anything, because you cannot concentrate your power. You cannot be focused on one thing. So that's the mental power. Most people are easily distracted. But after practicing great perfection Dharma, it's very easy to settle your mind, and then you can concentrate or totally focus in doing what you do, say in reciting the mantra or the sutra. So there would be this phenomena. Whether you are deep in the mountains, in solitary, you can still in concentration or totally focus. Or if you are amidst the people, or in the dance club or nightclub, even when you're in there, your mind or heart is still serene. So the adept would have such phenomena, that kind of power. We often visualize when we pray to the Kuan Yin Bodhisattva in white robe, and my mind is on this Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. But in a flash, you get distracted. It becomes your girlfriend in white robe. It can happen. When you visualize, you want to visualize this deity, and it turned out to be that deity. Or you visualize this deity, it turned out she turned her back on you. You want to visualize the front, but it turned out to be the back. So there are all these interesting or weird problems or bad thoughts even. In the past, when I'm making offering to the ghost and spirits, using this mudra, holding a bowl or a cup, and the other hand, the sword mudra, and I would recite the bird Garuda and all the ghosts and the solitary spirits and the homeless souls and the yaksas. So when I recite the Garuda bird, it's the same as inviting the Garuda bird. And at that time, long ago, I could not concentrate my mind on the Garuda. I did invite, I did invoke, but there is a bad thought. All of a sudden, that shot 2 arrows and shot on the Garuda bird, and the bird died. So that was a bad thought. That's a killing thought. So I was reciting the Garuda bird, and all of a sudden the 2 arrows were shot toward the bird. Oh no, that was really bad. Bad thought. And it doesn't matter how you visualize the Garuda bird, the 2 arrows automatically shot toward it. So that's called a destructive thought or improper thought. Because how could you kill? But it appeared from your mind automatically. So how could you stop that? So maybe you shouldn't think of the bird, but that's also not good. So I thought of a way. So when I shot the 2 arrows, I thought of the eagle, the symbol of America. So the 2 feet of the eagle caught the 2 arrows. So when the 2 arrows was shot toward the Garuda caught the 2 arrows, and then he became the American eagle. So Garuda's claws just caught the 2 arrows. So good thing I didn't kill it. So later on, every time I call the Garuda bird, the one that came is the American eagle. So that kind of thought can happen. And then later on, after I practice the Great Perfection Dharma, I have no such thoughts anymore. And every day in my Tantric or Dharma practice, I can be totally focused and concentrate to complete my meditation or Dharma practice. So if you can concentrate and totally focus, that's not a simple matter. That's already quite good. So there is a good phenomena for practicing the Great Perfection Dharma. And the second sign or phenomena is fearlessness. After you have attainment in great perfection, in chiche or in talk, and you would be able to see lights, and you can comprehend your Buddha nature, then you become fearless. You have no fear, and you're fearless toward death. Even death you're not afraid of, because you know what death is all about, and you know what birth is all about, and you know what life is all about, and you know what is the most meaningful thing, and you comprehend everything about the world. So at the moment of death, when death comes, you're fearless and you don't care. So even when you're on a boat and the boat turns upside down, no problem. You could be on a plane and the plane falls, no problem. And you can go to Africa and hunting a lion and in turn being eaten by a lion, and you don't mind, you don't care. Or you're being eaten by the cannibal, that's fine, I don't care. And you are not afraid of anything. Like today, there are lots of ghosts at my home. I'm never afraid of the ghosts because every day I make offerings to the ghost. So I have lots of visitors at home. As soon as I got back from Taiwan to the house that I live in now, there wasn't even one single ghost then. It was very quiet when I started making offering to the Garuda bird, and all the ghosts and spirits and solitary souls and yaksas, and then let them be fulfilled with nectars, and then spray the nectars upon them, and then they start to spread the words around, and now there are lots of ghosts and spirits coming to my house. And I'm good friend with the ghost, very good friend. I often tell the ghost, Grandmaster Lu often make offerings to you. Why don't you help me? There are many overseas ghosts. Or there are many slanders and defamations from people from other states or out of the country. You always receive offerings from me and you don't help do my work. Why don't you catch those slanderers? And then they told me, oh, but we cannot get out of the state. They could only stay in Washington State because they are ghosts from the Washington State. They cannot cross the rivers. So I asked them, then how can I bring you across? Well, why don't you place us inside your pocket? Then I can bring them anywhere. If I don't carry them, they cannot leave the state. They belong to this location. That's called the local ghosts. They belong to this area. They cannot leave this area. If they go to a different area, they would be chased away by the ghosts, the local ghosts of that area, and vice versa. This local ghost cannot go to other areas. So there's also interesting things about ghosts. And you know, every day they're so noisy. You know, if I'm an ordinary person, then I would have spirits attached to me already. Oh, I like this morning. Like at dawn this morning, in the middle of the night last night, I woke up once to go to the bathroom. When I got off the bed, the ghost is next to me. When the ghost saw me getting off the bed, he ran and hit the door and bang. And when I saw him, I thought, fine, I just ignored him and went to my toilet. And inside there are two ghosts. And when the ghosts saw me, they also ran away and piang. And then at dawn, I walk to my study, and there are several ghosts there, and making all the noises. And the books in my study have been moved. And then I went to the powder room, and there's also sound there. You know, sometimes I tiptoed very quietly, and I thought they didn't make a sound. But after I passed, they still make the sound. But I'm fearless. When I leave Seattle to go to Taiwan, the ghosts will disperse. They would leave. Then in Taiwan, there would also be local ghosts there. So when you visit my house, please be careful. Don't have any spirits attached to you. What does it mean? It's like when there's a ghost here and you don't know that there's a ghost right there, and you walk and sing and you pass by the ghost, then there would be the ghost energy on your body. That means you have like ghost spirit on you. Then that night you cannot fall asleep, you feel dizzy or headache or a lot of problems. So you have the ghost spirit energy on you. So you need to send them off. So if the ghosts belong to the east, then you need to send them off to the east. or to the west or north or south. So you should send back the ghosts from where they come from. But Grandmaster is already fearless. Anything is fine. Even death is fine. So we don't even share a joke today? Let me first share a joke. There is a really elegant and wealthy lady, and also with power, very proud, and go to the office, and then she talked to the CEO. For this little thing, I still need to be here in person. I don't have much time. What kind of proof do you need so that I don't have to be here in person to take care of this issue? And the CEO replied, "Oh, you don't need to come when you come for death certificate." That's about death. There's a man that talks to the janitor. If we don't exist because we just throw garbage as we like, you have no job. So you should be grateful to us because we like to throw rubbish. That's why you have job. And then the janitor replied, "This is my last day. Tomorrow I would work at the cremation." And because if no one dies, then I have no job. So why don't, because you're very helpful, why don't you die once? But for spiritual cultivators, we are not afraid of death, because death is the same as liberation from this physical body. Then you can go to the Western paradise, to the Buddha lands. You're not afraid of death, because after death, your realm can be better and higher. You can go to the Buddha lands, or at least you can go to heavens. You can go to the Buddha lands. So death is no big deal. So you're not afraid of death. And also sicknesses, you don't care. Because even being sick is suffering, but when you truly adept at great perfection Dharma, you don't care about sicknesses, because you know being sick is eradicating your karma. That's called the karmic sicknesses. Only then you would be able to go to the Buddha lands after you eradicate your karma. So when you understand the life and human world, then you don't care. Even aging is fine. What's so big deal about it? Everyone is afraid to be old. These days, many people our senior masters here are quite old. I admire Master Lien Ho most. How old are you now? He's already 77 years old, and yet he's still propagating Buddha Dharma all over the world, flying all over the place. 77 years old. still flying all over the place. I admire his spirit. I'm 70 years old and I often say, oh, I often think about retiring, but Master Lian Ho is 77 and still all over the world. He has great energy. And when we came to United States together, I was 38. How old were you then? 45? You know, Simu's math is really good. You can't, you know, she can calculate to the seconds and to the pinpoints and the currency exchange of any country. She can reply right away. She can give the answers. And she's also a master at math or silent calculation. So we were still young then when we came to United States. We were still youngsters. I was 38, Master Lian Ho 45. And now I'm 70. So I also received, I am qualified to start receiving Social Security now, after 65. So recently, I applied and I started to receive that. I already waited 5 years. But no, we are fearless even toward getting old or being old. So you're not afraid of anything that will happen or that happens to you. Anything is fine. Old, aging, death, sickness, and moreover, the minor things. So, other than fearlessness, you have no afflictions, nothing would bother you. You're always happy every day. How? Why? Because what you gain, the serenity and the lightness of Buddhism, it's very, very light and easy. Your body is like flying to heavens. It's like an arrow flying to the sky, not shooting any bird. So, being free, floating like the cloud on the sky, you always have enjoyment every single day. You just enjoy all the time. Because in your body there's inner fire, and your qi, the vital energy, is full and robust, and your central channel is open. And the inner fire, qi and light drops are moving inside the central channel. And you have warmth and bliss, and you're always amidst it. This is something that is never experienced by ordinary people. And this is a very superior bliss So you're always happy at all times. Every day you live happily. So you're always happy every day. The highest kind of happiness. You're very happy. Even when you're 70s or 80s, you still feel very happy. Because the Qi is moving inside the central channel. The inner fire is moving inside the central channel. And your light drops are moving inside the central channel. And then they're all dancing inside your body. So happy. It's tremendously wonderful. You're always happy every day. There's nothing bother you. Even when people defame you or slander you, you treat them just like a breeze. No fear, no troubles, no problems, no afflictions. Because your happiness is far beyond your afflictions. You're always happy. So that kind of lightness and ease in your body. And by practicing Buddhism and practicing great perfection Dharma, it is always on you. Both the body and soul is like a soft breeze that's flying to the sky. Truly wonderful. Only then you would be called you're truly happy. How could you be afflicted? And you also have no thoughts. What it means is you will not think of the future, what will happen in the future. And you will not think about what is happening now. Or you don't even think about the past, what had happened in the past. Then only then it would be called no thought, the realm of no thought. There are many reporters that ask Grandmaster, so what do you have for Buddha School's future? I said, never think about it. Do you have any plans for it? No. And how do you feel about the past? Do you have any regrets? No, nothing. Whatever has passed, it passed. No regrets whatsoever. And now I have no plans. And the future, we don't even think about it. What is this called? This is called no thought. You have reached the state of no thoughts. You have no specific or special thoughts that can influence you or affect you. So when you truly reach the great perfection Dharma, you would have these four realms. The first, you can be in solitary and your mind can be focused or in concentration. Second, fearlessness and nothing is a big deal. Third, you're always very happy and no troubles or worries whatsoever. And fourth, you have no other thoughts. Doesn't matter what thoughts you don't have. That's the state of no thought. Future or toward your son, daughter, grandson, granddaughter. You just show your care, but they follow their destinies and I don't care. Of course, we want to show our care and love to our children and grandchildren. but you don't need to care about it, or you don't want to place it in your mind too much, because they have their own destinies. This is called the state of no thought. So after attaining the great perfection Dharma practice, you would have these 4 phenomena. That's the benefits of great perfection Dharma practice, the great benefits. And these 4 phenomena are truly beneficial to you. Oh, Mani Pe Mi Hom.